Yo, what is going on, guys? Zach here and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video I'm going to teach you how to increase the amount of reps that you can do on your pull-up. So let's jump right into it. And the very first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is your form and technique. So if your form and technique is not on point, you definitely don't want to focus on increasing the reps of your pull-up. You want to focus on mastering your form and perfecting that technique. So if you go into it and your technique is not on point and you just start doing pull-ups, you're really not going to get that much out of it, and you're going to start implementing bad habits, and it's going to be hard to break when you get more advanced. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is your hand placement. So what I'm going to do is start from the very top portion of the bar. So as soon as you set up for the pull-up, so I'm going to teach you guys how to set up for the pull-up. So one common mistake that I see people make, and don't worry, I made this mistake and I just now have started correcting it, but I would put my thumb over the bar rather than having my thumb underneath the bar. Now, why is having your thumb underneath the bar important? Because your thumb is the most or the strongest digit on your hand. So you really want to be using that because that's going to help assist you with the pull-up. So that's going to help your grip, as well as that's going to activate your forearms and your biceps a little bit more than you would rather than having it over the bar. So by activating your forearms and biceps slightly more, you're going to get more muscles involved, and that's going to help your lats, which is the primary muscle that you use pulling yourself up to get over the bar. So you have those muscles helping you, and this is going to make it easier to pull yourself up and over the bar. So that's the first thing. Now the second thing is your scapula. So what you want to do is make sure you're retracting your scapula, and this is going to put you in a safer and healthier position, and it's also going to recruit more muscle fibers within your back. So the more muscle fibers that you have working, the more assistance you're going to get and the more muscle you're going to build. So you really want to focus on perfecting your pull-up and getting the most out of it. Now this is just kind of my preference, but one thing that I like to do is, instead of having my feet just kind of dangling or my legs just kind of dangling and flopping all over the place, I like to keep them nice and straight and keep them tight to my body, and I like to engage my core, which I recommend you do on every exercise that you do, is engage your core and then point my toes. And what this does is it just cleans up my pull-up form and it makes it look a whole lot neater. So the next thing that I want to get into, this is going to be the different types or variation of the pull-up. So a lot of people think, okay, I want to get good at pull-ups, so I'm just going to do the pull-up. Now that works up until a point to where your body gets used to this and it's not stimulated as much as it used to be. So you want to train different variations of the pull-up. So for instance, you can go a little bit wider with your grip, and what this is going to do is target different muscles. So once you go a little bit wider and you do a wide grip pull-up, this is going to put more emphasis on your lats. This is going to reduce the amount of help that you get from your forearms as well as your biceps. So now you're focusing on strengthening your lats. Now you can go in closer, and this is going to put more emphasis on your forearms and your biceps and take some of the stress off your lats, so you can focus on specifically strengthening those two muscles. Now if you're trying to get better at pull-ups, I don't recommend you try to do chin-ups in order to help your pull-up, because that's a supinated grip and you're going to get more bicep activation. So if you're specifically trying to get a better pull-up, just stick with the pronated grip, so with your hands facing out front of you rather than being turned in. Alright guys, so another way that you can increase the variation and change it up within your training to assist you into getting more reps on your pull-up is training the Australian row. So you can do the exact same thing that I taught you with the pull-up, and you can change your hand placement on the row. Now by doing these rows, you're going to target primarily your lats and your back. So this is going to work more muscles in your back due to the position of it. So this is a horizontal pulling exercise, so you're going to get more upper to mid back activation, and you're also going to strengthen the lats at the same time. And you can also change your hand placement. So you can do a wider grip row, or you can come back in and do a normal grip or just outside of shoulder width, and then you can bring it in and do a close grip. By changing the hand placement, this is going to change the muscles that are worked. So this is going to increase the angle or change the angle, so you're working different muscles, and that's going to strengthen different areas that will correlate very well to the pull-up. Now another thing that you can do with these rows is, if these rows are too easy, you can make it harder by doing a single arm or a unilateral variation. So if you can do a single arm row, you're gonna, by the time that you've built up to this, you're gonna have a lot of strength, and that will correlate very, very well to the pull-up. So that's a good way to increase your variation and also build that strength to increase your reps for the pull-ups. So the next thing that I want to get into, that is going to be your frequency, or how often you train the pull-up. So one thing that I always recommend to people is you need to train your muscle groups at least 2 times per week. What this is going to do is ensure that you get enough volume and intensity throughout the week to stimulate muscle growth and build that strength. So the more strength and muscle you can build will correlate to the amount of reps that you can do on the pull-up, and that's what we're trying to do, is increase our reps on the pull-up. Now the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about, it's just a method that I used personally when I was struggling with my pull-ups, and it's even helped me now, now that I've got more advanced and working on stuff like the muscle up. And this is just using a assistance band, so I just call this the band method. So for instance, say you can only do 3 pull-ups. Now that's not a whole lot of reps in order to stimulate a ton of muscle growth and a ton of volume in order to increase your reps. So what I would do is, I can only do 3 pull-ups, but what I'm going to do is go for 8 reps. So I'm going to do those 3 pull-ups with just my body weight, and then as soon as I fatigue and I can't go anymore, I'm going to use the band to assist me, and that's going to allow me to get the remainder, or the remaining 5 reps. And this way I can ensure that I can get enough volume to force that growth and that strength to do more reps in the future. Now each week, what you should focus on if you do this method is, say you do 3 reps with the band and 5, or 3 reps without the band and 5 with the band. Next week try to do 4 or 5 reps without the band, and then do the remainder with the band. So each week you're increasing the amount of reps that you can do unassisted, and this is going to be a great progression scheme and a great way to increase your rep pull-ups. So there you have it, guys. That's just a few tips that I have for you on increasing your pull-ups. This is something that's helped me. So make sure that you apply each and every one of these tips that I gave you today within your training, and make sure to remember, make sure your form is on point. Make sure you get that thumb underneath the bar. Make sure you're training different variations of the pull-up. Make sure you're training it frequently, so train it often without overtraining, and try out the band method. So if you guys enjoyed this video and if you found it helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. I have more great videos coming soon, and I'll try to post at least once a week. It don't always happen, but you can normally count on a video each and every week. So there you have it, guys. Oh, and also make sure to follow me on Instagram. I do post workout tips and videos on there as well. So I'm gonna put my username, or my username in the description box below, and also right here on the screen. So make sure to follow me on Instagram. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Catch you next time.